State Police.
Yeah, there's somebody after me.
I'm sorry?
There's somebody after me. Stop it! No, please stop it, please! Please stop it, please! No, what are you going to do to me? What are you going to do to me? Stop it!
Please, get him out of here.
These people are plotting to kill me.
That was Shannan Gilbert making a 911 call. She disappeared afterwards. It took a long time to find her. But the search for Shannan Gilbert resulted in the discovery of a series of bodies, a series of victims. Here were the first four, known as the Gilgo Four. Maureen Barnes, Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Lynn Costello. These four women, their remains were found. The investigation continued. They still didn't find Shannan Gilbert, but they did connect these four to one accused serial killer. There he is. But what they haven't done yet is connect him to Shannan Gilbert. And we have to remember, this is how the whole thing began. The whole investigation into the Long Island serial killer began for the search of Shannan Gilbert. But now tonight, we have new information that may very well link the accused serial killer to Shannan's death. Let's bring in our special guest, criminal defense attorney and the attorney representing the family of Shannan Gilbert's family, the victim, Shannan Gilbert. John Ray is with us, joining us by phone tonight. John, thanks so much. Great to have you on tonight.
Okay.
Explain to us, because to me this is bombshell stuff, explain to us how you have uncovered some evidence that may link the Long Island serial killer to Shannan Gilbert.
Yes, well, I located four witnesses, four different females who have various important things to say about RexHeuermann. And two of them have given me sworn statements. Both of them have been examined respectively by, not only by myself, but later on by two detectives from the task force, and also another one by Rodney Harrison, the police commissioner himself. So we vetted their credibilities. Now, one of them it was a young lady who was a swinger with a boyfriend that she had, who was a detective from narcotics in Brooklyn, and they were swingers that went to a club called La Trapeze in New York City, over on West 27th Street. They saw it advertised a swingers tryst at a house in Massapequa Park. It was on a bulletin board or something at La Trapeze. And they went there, taking with them a hungry, disheveled woman who had just come out of jail, who later on the witness came to recognize as Karen Vergata. They went to RexHeuermann's house, where they were supposed to do swapping with his wife and himself. He went instead and swapped with Heuermann, the boyfriend, and Mrs. Ellerup did not have sex with the witness. The witness believes because the witness was African American. The girl, who turned out to be Vergata, was seen as they were leaving the premises. She was seen in the window, and the witness wondered why they weren't taking the girl with them. And the driver, the boyfriend, just said, "Oh, don't worry, they're just playing a game." With that, the girl ran out the door and ran by the garage, and she was naked. This is around 2 o'clock in the morning, and Heuermann had started a fire, by the way, of some kind in a big barrel in his backyard. Anyway, the witness's friend said, "No, don't worry about her. They're just playing a game," and they left. And she was uneasy about it, but never thought about it again until she saw Vergata on television, and her face, her portrait, and she broke down because she recognized her as the girl, and she recognized RexHeuermann.
Wow.
She's given an affidavit to that effect. The other witness I located was a woman who was not involved in sex work at all or sexual activities. Pretty objective person. She's a taxi cab driver who had a very sophisticated job during the day and worked as a driver at night on Long Island in Suffolk County. And she was called in the fall of 2009 by her dispatcher to go to the Sayville Motor Lodge, which was a place well known for prostitution. It was a place which Rodney Harrison actually busted last year for that very thing, and is now closed. But back in, this was in, I believe, trying to think, it was in the fall of 2009. She's told by the dispatcher to go to the motel, and there's a girl in the bathroom waiting for her to come. She's locked in a bathroom, and the driver was to flash her lights and beep her horn, which she did several times. And out came a very, very large man, extraordinarily large, and put his hands or his arms over his face to cover himself, and ran to a greenish SUV of some kind that was parked nearby. A few minutes later, out came the shaking, crying girl, who turned out to be Shannan Gilbert, and got in her car. And they talked for almost an hour, and the driver took her to the Ronkonkoma railroad station to catch a 2:00 train, where Shannan waited in another car for a while because the driver witness had to go to another call. In the discussion she had with Shannan, she learned that Shannan was there. Shannan had sisters, a mother, and a boyfriend. And the man had convinced Shannan to come out to Long Island, but in a series of phone calls where he held himself out as a kind and generous man. And when she did come, he handed her an envelope that looked like it was stuffed with money, and told her that there was $1,000 in it, and it was for her and her family no matter what happened that night. Well, when the man got kind of excited and agitated, went to the bathroom, Shannan looked in the envelope, and it was filled with papers, torn up papers.
Wow.
So she now panics and realizes that she's being set up. When the man comes out and starts abusing her, she runs into the bathroom, locks the door, and calls for a taxi. So that's how this all comes down.
Unbelievable. John, we're out of time for tonight. We're going to obviously follow up on this, but this is a game changer in this case. The DA is now taking a look at all this stuff?
Well, in fact, the police commissioner, we held a joint press conference, he and I, yesterday, where we're working together on this, and of course, the task force is looking at it as well. There's more to it, but I can't. You don't have time for it. But there's much more that happened after that. Yep. And we're
going to dedicate an hour to it, John. We're going to dedicate an hour to it. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us tonight. Let's bring back in our think tank: Eklund Mercy, Kirk Nurmi, Nima Rahmani. These are huge developments. Obviously, these witnesses have to be vetted, etc. But the one thing that sticks out to me, Kirk Nurmi, if this sex party thing is happening, and one of the victims is at the Long Island serial killer's home in Massapequa Park when his wife is there, that changes everything.
Well, it certainly helps illustrate the story, doesn't it? And we're still just kind of unpeeling that onion. But it helps get a better sense of what is going on. It helps get a better picture. Maybe it helps perhaps get a pathology of Mr. Heuermann, what he was doing. So, yeah, I think, as you said, these witnesses need to be vetted. They need to be investigated by police authorities. And, where that leads, it certainly could be a fruitful bit of information as we learn more and more about Mr. Heuermann in advance of his trial.
So, Nima, how do prosecutors go about this, right? Because, all these bodies are found generally in the same location. How do you go through determining whether or not you believe witnesses? And do you do anything relative to the Long Island serial killer's wife, who allegedly is at this sex party, according to this witness. I haven't heard a statement from her yet reacting to any of this, but what do you think?
Well, Vinny, I take a close look at the wife. When we started out with this, her being out of town with the kids. Now, all of a sudden, her DNA is at the scene, and she's present when these swinger sex parties are happening. And at a minimum, here's someone who's tone deaf, has taken a really poor and aggressive stance towards the media, expressed no sympathy towards the victims that her husband allegedly killed, caring only about her house. So at a minimum, here's someone who's not likable, but she may be an accomplice, she may be a co-conspirator, she may be complicit in all this. And, you know, let's be honest, prosecutors and law enforcement haven't done the greatest job working up this case.
Oh, not even close. Not even close. I mean, new folks are in charge now. All right, Eklund, we don't have a ton of time here, but what are your thoughts about these developments? And again, obviously, all of these witnesses, you got to see if you can corroborate, because it's so many years later that they're apparently coming forward with this information.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. And with regards to the wife, I'm sorry, she's a New Yorker, so it's like, get off her lawn. I think that it actually tracks how she has been acting with the media. With regards to the case, it was flubbed up since the beginning. So I don't know how these pieces of information, although circumstantial, I don't know how it's going to connect. I'm curious to see what the prosecution is going to do with it.